Okie dokie, so full day of eating. Right now I'm going for a little run. I think 9 kilometers today. And basically the only thing I've done is I've drank some water. So I woke up, I took a shit, I weighed myself, and then I drank some water. You know, when you weigh yourself on a bulk or a cut, you basically want to do it after your morning shit and before you start to drink water, because those are two variables that could influence your weight, right? Right in the middle between of those two activities, that's where your weight is the most accurate. So for me today, it was 73.2, down for 73.8 from a couple of days ago, but that was just a little too much. So that means, yeah, I think the weight is quite stable now. We've gained about 3.5 kilos, I guess 8 pounds in 3.5 months. Not too bad, I would say. Very happy. And right now on this run, the only thing that I've done is, yeah, I drank some water because you gotta stay hydrated, right? Right in the morning, you go to the toilet, you dehydrate yourself even more. So I like to drink some water. And then basically from here, I will do my run, I will train, and then I will eat. So let's talk about the two things that I really care about on a bulk or on a diet basically, and that's protein and calories. So for the protein, I believe, and I truly believe so, that you can, you know, survive on like the minimum 1 gram of protein per kilo of body weight, which is like half a gram of protein per pound, right? For Americans, that's not a lot, right? I weigh 73 kilos. That would be 70 grams of protein, right? Which is not a lot. I truly believe that you can survive on that, but from personal experience, I feel way better, way better when you just eat as much as you can. And by as much as you can, I mean enough, but not too much that you get constipated. Basically, I'm hovering between like 200 and 250 grams at the moment, and I'm not constipated, so that's what I'm doing. I would eat even more, but I'll get onto that topic later on. But basically, yeah, you eat too much protein, you're gonna get constipated. But as long as that doesn't happen, just eat as much as you want, right? Because trust me, for some reason, like protein doesn't really directly translate into you getting more energy, but it does build your muscles. So you can have as much carbs as you want. If you don't have protein, if you don't have building blocks to build muscle, to repair your muscle, you're not gonna have energy. And what I also like to keep in mind is to make that protein animal based. I mean, yeah, you can get protein from pasta and beans and whatever, but I think the quality, or it's not like my opinion, it's just a given that the quality of those proteins is less. So like for me, when I count protein, I only count meat, fish, eggs, milk, right? That's what I get my protein from. That's how I get to 200 plus grams a day. So I think that's important to keep in mind. I guess if you're vegan, there's no way getting around that, but that's just your personal opinion then, I guess. But if you eat meat, right, make sure that your protein is based on animal sources, because then you have all the amino acids. So the second thing that I keep in mind is calories, because when you're on a diet, well, that's basically the only thing that matters, right? You have calories. If you want to gain weight, you have to eat more of them. If you want to lose weight, you have to eat less. In my case, I have to eat more, right? Basically, when you're cutting or bulking, it's kind of this battle of how do I get the calories that I need as comfortable as possible, right? So for me, I just make sure that I have meals that are easy to eat so that I don't feel too full afterwards. That contains a lot of fat, which you'll see in in the meals later on. I'm consuming a lot of fat at the moment. Well, I would say if you're on a cut, rather than fat, you would eat some more fiber instead, because that will fill you up and it doesn't have calories, right? So basically, I want to talk about that though. Like for the protein, right? You want to eat that as long as you don't get constipated, right? There are two ways to not get constipated. You have fiber, which will make your poop softer and doesn't have calories. Ideally, you use that on a cut. But did you know that fat also has the same role, right? If you eat a lot of fat, it will make your dumpies. It will make your dumpies a bit softer as well. So for me, I don't eat a lot of fiber or something, right? I just eat some fruit. But I do eat a lot of fat. So my poop comes out fine. That's a life hack for you. And at the same time, right, you can basically think of fat as like some sort of fiber with calories in it. So if you're in a bulk, struggling to eat calories, just eat some more fat, and you'll be good to go. Yeah, I think that's like the two things, right? If you want to bulk or cut, eat a lot of protein no matter what, right? And then when you cut, eat like 300 calories below maintenance. When you're in a bulk, eat like 300 calories more, right? You can have your maintenance calories, you can just easily calculate them online, like your basic or your base metabolic rate or something. What is it? Holy shit, the birds are fighting. Right, you can calculate that and kind of guesstimate how active you are, add your burning calories to that, and then from there you have your actual maintenance, to which you add or subtract 300 calories. And if then, after a couple of weeks your weight hasn't changed, or it changed in the wrong direction, well, adjust them again. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? Oh, I'm eating 10,000 calories a day, I'm not gaining weight. Well, then eat 11,000, right? I mean, until you start gaining weight. And all the while doing that, train hard. So I'm gonna finish my run, hopefully find some cats to pet or a dog to pet on the way, and then I'll get back to you. For today is a pool day, so yeah, I'll see you then. Okie dokie, so today is a pool day. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but it's a pool day, right? And at this point, I am still fasted. I haven't eaten anything. I did drink more water because you gotta stay hydrated. But yeah, I didn't have any food yet. Which, on the bulk, it might be a bit weird, but that's just the way I like to operate. I mean, I get out of bed, I go for my run. I don't want to spend time on making food, and then I have some training. During the week, I also have to train and run the first thing in the day, because after that, I immediately have to go to work. So for me, it just saves time in the morning to not have food and then have food afterwards, right? When I'm done training. So after this training, I'm gonna have breakfast. It's not like there is any benefit, in my opinion, to training fasted. I'm not one of the believers in, you're gonna burn fat and whatever, you're gonna gain superpowers, right? Like in the end, it's calories in, calories out. Whether you eat your food before your training or you have your food after your training, the amount of calories, if they're the same, they're gonna give you the same result, in my opinion. And for me, it's just I've been doing this for so long, right? I've been training fasted for so long, for so many years, because I'm a morning person. I basically don't feel like a difference anymore in energy between when I have food and when I don't. Like the only time I really feel that I have more energy is when I go training in the afternoon with some friends and I have like a white monster in my system. But other than that, if it's not for caffeine, I don't really have extra energy from food. If I really feel hungry in between the run and the training, I might like eat a banana, but most of the time it's just fast. So today, let's get into the training, full day. I'm gonna do some pull-ups. Would you? I don't think that's a surprise, but it's gonna be front lever pull-ups, right? I usually have like, or I alternate between like a hold and presses day, straight arm work, and then like a pull-up day where I do bent arm work, getting to the front lever touch and stuff. So today is gonna be one of those days. And lately, if you've been watching the channel, you might know this already, but I have been feeling very tired, I have had a couple rough workouts where I didn't feel very strong. And in those cases, it's very good to have a rest. However, at some point, I think you have to stop feeling sorry for yourself, right? I mean, I've had like 3 trainings in a row where I did less than I usually do. That's plenty of time to recover. So at some point, you're gonna stop feeling sorry for yourself. You're gonna have to, or you're gonna have to you need the courage to challenge yourself again, basically. And that's what I'm gonna do today. So I'm gonna try and go quite heavy on the pull-ups, see what I can do, perhaps, or definitely also put some weight on my feet for the later sets. But yeah, this is gonna get me back on track to get a powerful and strong front lever. So let's go 5 sets of 11 reps. All right. Guys, I was just reading a comment from someone who said that apparently there is this impression in calisthenics that you can't build back thickness with only calisthenics because you don't have a good rowing movement, right? You only have bodyweight rows, and those movements are not heavy on the back. But what the fuck? What the fuck? Has anyone ever thought about the front lever? I mean, the front lever, it's basically this movement. Okay, at every point in time, you're gonna be doing like a lat pull down, right? If you put your hands under your arm and then you pull down and you grab your lat here, you will feel it just contracting into oblivion. But other than that, you can also do front lever pull-ups in any progression, right? And these are basically bodyweight rows on steroids. Or I can even call them fucking barbell rows from the gym, right? On steroids. Because these give you infinite potential. If you're able to horse front lever pull-ups, right? For reps upon reps upon reps, your back is gonna be thick as fuck. I mean, the only reason, right, that you see people who are doing front lever that are skinny is because those people choose to stay skinny, right? If the people doing planche and front lever chose to put on muscle, which they don't because it would put them at a disadvantage for their skill, but if they chose to eat food, if they chose to, gain weight, they would put on insane amounts of muscle. That's just, and especially in the back, right? Especially in the front lever hits your back in all directions. You can do straight arm raises into front lever from all the way from dead hang into inverted hang. You can do front lever pull-ups. You can do wide front lever pull-ups. You have all these angles that you can just attack your back from. And at all time during the movement, your back is going to be under pressure. It's insane. The front lever is, I think, the best back builder that you can find in calisthenics, right? And even if you're talking about a gym environment, there are not many moves, there isn't any machine, I believe, that can beat the front lever pull-up. So do the front lever pull-up, guys. Awesome movement. And you can build a thick, voluptuous back while doing it. So yeah, that is my presentation about front lever. Now let's do the remaining 3 sets. I have put some extra weight on my feet. I'm gonna try and do 2 sets of 11 pull-ups with those 2 kilos on there, and then basically see for the last set what I will do. I don't know yet, but fuck around and find out, I guess. Only time will tell. Oh, whew. Holy shit. Alright, weight has been removed again. Let's do one set, perhaps not max out, but more than 11. Alright, I lied. That was kind of max out. Whew. Alright, so I rested up, I think more than 6 minutes already. I was just chilling in the couch because those pull-ups destroyed my back. I mean, it's still, I can feel it, right? My back has been torn apart. That's just the result of some good old front lever pull-ups, especially if you start horse-cocking them with like as much weight and intensity as possible. But now it's time for some more endurance work. You know, I want to get the 45-second front lever, so I have to do longer sets. And actually today I'm gonna see if I can go beyond the 45 seconds with some assistance here. So I have this band. I'm not gonna put on any extra weight. I'm just gonna see if I can make 50 seconds. Well, I know that I can make 50 seconds, but if possible, I wanna make it for 2 sets, you know, find progression in that way, because, you know, I've been kind of going down in a slump in the last couple of trainings, and to get it back up, well, I want to build my base again. But basically, you have these peaks and low places, I guess, in training, right? You go up and you go down. In the end, right, when you are down in the fucking training in your intensity, you want to build a base so that you can build back up, right? And you have these ups and these downs all the way, and it forms on average over time a diagonal that's upward. So you want your base to be always stronger than it was a couple months ago. So I'm gonna build my base back up here. So I'm gonna build my base using a bit more difficult sets than the last time I built my base. So in other words, I'm gonna make the sets a bit longer, and that will hopefully result into a higher peak than last time. All right, so I lied. Those 50 seconds turned out to be pretty close to my max. All right. And as a result, I am pumped to shit. So let's do a bit of a posing routine here. Oh, I wonder how that's looking, but it feels good to say the least. So yeah, I guess my guess is that those 5 sets of front lever pull-ups had something to do with me barely able to do 50 seconds of front lever assisted on that last set, right? Not only did I do 5 sets of 11, right? They were weighted, and I guess the last set was even 16 pull-ups. So I was quite fucking destroyed from those front lever pull-ups. Nonetheless, we got one set of 50 seconds, which is longer than 45. Next time when we focus on the actual holds, we're gonna be able to get some more volume in on those longer sets, right? So, whew, yeah, feels good though. So I'm gonna have a shower and then some breakfast. Like, boys, it's 9 o'clock. It's time for some breakfast. All right, breakfast is served. It's almost 10 o'clock. So it's about time I have some food in my system. And it's a breakfast that some of you might recognize. You know, when I first did a full day of eating, I don't know when it was, like 3 months ago, I think I almost had the exact same breakfast. So I have here 8 eggs and, oh fuck, I forgot my bananas. I'm gonna have some bananas as well. And basically I had a kiwi, which I ate it during the cooking of the eggs. So I was just waiting and I ate a kiwi. Sorry, no footage of that one. But basically, yeah, some eggs and some fruit is my breakfast. I used quite a lot of butter, like 25 grams. So calories and protein on the screen, I guess. I don't even know, but I guess 8 eggs is like 56 grams of protein, which is plenty for me. Now, I must say, lately, I have oftentimes been eating 10 eggs because I was not gaining weight. But then since last week, I started gaining weight again, you know. I feel like I can back off a little bit, right? I don't have to step on the gas that much anymore. I can just sit back and see how my weight fluctuates. So I'm going back to 8 eggs because 10 eggs, it's quite heavy on the stomach, right? 8 eggs, I feel good. I'm happy that I had the food, but like those last 2 eggs when I eat 10, that's quite heavy. So, delicious. Like this breakfast, I've been eating it for the last couple of months. And I don't want to eat anything else, right? I mean, I've said this before, but for me, basically, I try to eat the food that makes me feel the best. And because, you know, I train, I have to recover. The food that makes me feel the best is the food that helps me recover. So if I recover, right, my body will naturally like gravitate towards that food. My body starts to love the food more and more and more. So people think I'm weird because, you know, sometimes I take 10 eggs to lunch at work, right? But it makes me feel fantastic. So I'm gonna keep eating this. Like, if you crave McDonald's or fast food in general on a daily basis, right? I think it's kind of a sign that you are nutrient deficient because McDonald's has a lot of calories. When your body is nutrient deficient, it wants a lot of calories. So no matter if you're on a bulk, right, or on a cut, if you want to have McDonald's like every day of the week, I think you're pretty much, having something in your body that's missing. So when I used to want to be skinny all the time, right? I used to control my calories all the time. And at that point, I was like really feeling shit. And I would like crave McDonald's on a daily basis. But now I'm eating in a surplus, of course, as well. But also I'm getting my vitamins, I'm getting my minerals, right? I don't have any nutrient deficiencies anymore. And to the point that like right now, if a friend asks me to go to McDonald's, I'm like, shit, I can't have my normal food. I would like to have my normal food, right? It's kind of a punishment. So the reason that I would go to McDonald's right now is because the Minecraft movie is out and there's like toys to get, right? You can get a Minecraft toy in like a Happy Meal, I believe. So I might go to McDonald's soon, but not for the food. Anyway, 8 eggs, bananas, 2 of them yesterday. 2 of them yesterday, right? Maybe you know that reference. Yeah, I'm gonna have that and then catch you at lunch. Oh, maybe one thing I should mention here is like I have this magnesium shit like at my breakfast, right? Because I heard that if you take magnesium, like your muscle recovery is better. And basically, I don't feel like it does anything. Like I don't feel any change, except for like my poop is more soft. Like it comes out with more force, I'll say. So I guess I'm gonna keep taking this because I paid for it, and like I wanna empty the box, right? I don't wanna throw it away. It would be like a waste. But like when it comes to muscle recovery, it doesn't do anything. I mean, I guess like I try to eat as much protein as possible. So like I eat protein until I'm basically not constipated. Like that's my limit. If I get constipated, that's too much, and this like makes the poop come out even faster. So I guess that I can eat more protein. But other than that, like it doesn't have the benefit for me that it advertises. So yeah, I guess that's I am taking supplements now for a while until this box is empty because really it doesn't do anything. It's a waste of money. Okay, back in the exact same spot. I mean, I eat my dinner here all the time and my lunch as well, so it's gonna be a recurrence. But yeah, basically lunch is just a liter of milk. And the reason I do this is because I got tired of cooking. I mean, I know I can meal prep, right? But when you're eating a lot of eggs and just meat, right? When you reheat it in the microwave, it's not as tasty as it is fresh, basically. So I don't meal prep when I don't have to. You know, when I go to my company, like the office, I will meal prep. I will make my eggs from beforehand, but they're not as tasty, so I try to avoid it in general. And so I got tired of cooking 3 times a day, basically, and decided to replace my meal with some milk. Right? You need some milk, and if you think about it, right, it sounds weird. Oh, you're drinking a liter of milk, but it's just a fucking protein shake. I mean, more of a mass gainer shake. I guess it's like 650 calories for the entire carton. And I'll just be drinking this when I'm on my way to the groceries, when I come back from the groceries, when I'm in the couch just chilling, right? And that's 650 calories down the hatch. I mean, I'm gonna drink water anyway, so I might as well, get some milk in my system so that I can skip lunch basically. Afterwards, I'll have a banana as well, putting me at a total for the day of like 2,000 calories with like 90 grams of protein, which I think is quite good. I mean, if you're cutting, right, you don't need anything but this. If you need like 2,000 calories, there you go. I spent like €3.5 so far in the day. It's like an insanely cheap day of eating, right? So if you're cutting, well, thank me later because now you're gonna cut for €3.5 a day. That's very good, I would say. Yeah, I save money in the day to spend some more money on dinner, but we'll come back to that later. And now I'm just gonna enjoy this milk. Mm, delicious, right? And basically see you again at dinner. I mean, oh, one thing I might say, like this milk, I feel like it's causing acne. Like my skin is a bit worse, especially in my back. But like when I think about the time that I'm saving doing this, not having to cook, I think it's worth it. So, I mean, it might seem like a bit weird. Like what at one point I'm eating 8 eggs, at one point I'm fucking drinking a liter of milk. But like don't take that as an excuse like, oh, I can't bulk because I don't want to do all this weird shit, right? This is just because, like, I do this because it's the easiest way for me. You don't have to eat like this to gain muscle at all. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You can have the food that you want as long as you have enough protein and calories, especially the calories, of course. So whatever I do, it's just the easiest for me to get to my calorie goal. You should do what is easier for you to get to your calorie goal, right? And that's different for everyone. Today I'm just showing what I'm doing, and it happens to be a liter of milk a day. So I'm gonna get this down the hatch, go for some groceries, and see you at dinner. Okie dokie, boys. So it's time for dinner. 2 eggs and a fat steak of like 500 grams. Afterwards, for dessert, I will be having some dates. Oh, and I guess, yeah, like with this steak, I use the steak, I cut it, and I put it like in the eggs here. And then I put some butter on it separately as well. So I'm using like 50 grams of butter in total. This is the fucking life. I eat this almost every day. It's so good. So I'm gonna sit down while the meat is resting and have a quick chat about the dinner and the daily totals. Okie dokie. So my dinner, as I mentioned, was 500 grams, just about. I gave some to the cat of the neighbors of steak, then 2 eggs, then 50 grams of butter in total, 20 to basically cook the steak, and then 30 more on the steak itself, placed just like that. And basically, you cut the steak, you take the yolk, you put some butter on. There's also salt on it already, so it tastes very nice. Highly recommended. And basically, I spent like €3.5 throughout the entire day. and then I spend a bit more on this steak, right? Steak is not a cheap meat, but basically by making my lunch and my breakfast really cheap, I I just justify spending a little more on this dinner. So dinner is like the steak alone is like 60% of my daily food budget. Actually, I went to the supermarket earlier for like an entire week of shopping. It came down to I think just about 90 euros, and that's minus some bananas and other fruit that I will buy throughout the day. But pretty accurate, you know, it's under 100 euros for the entire week, which I think is pretty good. Eating 3,500 calories a day, just about, right? It's more than the average human, so it's also normal that I spend a bit more. But basically, for the macros of this meal, it's like 1,500 calories and then 130 grams of protein, I would guesstimate. And then when it comes to the total, I will pull up on the screen as well. But basically, total calories, like I mentioned, uh, 3,500. And then when it comes to macros, I think it's quite funny. I don't do this intentionally, but everything is around 200. So it's like 200 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs, and 200 grams of fat, which I don't do this intentionally, but basically it just happens to be that way, and I eat almost the same shit every day. So it just ends up like that every day as well. And now, what you might be noticing is that throughout the day, right? I didn't eat any bread, I didn't eat any pasta, rice, vegetables, even, right? I didn't eat any of that. Basically, the only thing I ate was animal sources for my protein, like meat, eggs, dairy, right? And then some food for carbs. Now, the reason I do this is because I just feel the best doing that. I was eating some rice before. I think in the previous day of eating, even, I was eating some rice still. But really, when I just cut it out totally, I started feeling way better. Like, I do notice it. I'm not tired throughout the day anymore, and I have more energy. Now, if you feel great eating rice, by all means, go ahead, right? I just do it because it works for me. This is just my day of eating, but you can do something totally different and still get results. Just keep your calories and your protein in mind. And people look at the way that I'm eating and think that I'm on a strict diet. I'm actually not, right? I always explain it to people in the following way. So I eat everything. I just don't have anything or everything at home, right? So when I am out, I don't really care about my diet. When I go to my parents, I just eat whatever they are eating. When I go out, I will eat whatever is at the table, right? I will even go to McDonald's to get my Minecraft toys. But when I'm at home, right, when I spend my own time cooking, my own money on food, right, I just want to spend it on the things that make me feel best, and that's like the meat and the fruit. I think if you want to look into this, if you're like health conscious and stuff like that, you can look into. I think Carnivore MD is one of the guys who does like animal based, and also some other things like surrounding carnivore. I basically think that eating a lot of meat will do you good, right? It will help your recovery. I think partially, right? Of course, I built my way up to the training that I'm doing, but also the reason that I'm able to train the way I do daily, right? Running and the fucking strength training is because I'm able to recover quite fast by eating this way, right? I eat more protein. I notice quite a big difference in recovery, and that's why I'm doing it. So also just because it's fucking delicious. But I mentioned like I recover well, my body notices that I recover well, and then the steak starts to become more delicious, right? The food that I'm eating starts to become more delicious. So that's basically my full day of eating. 3,500 calories, which is just about the same as a few months ago. Although, like a few months ago, I would have averaged, I think, like 3,200 to 3,500, whereas now, like 3,500 is kind of the minimum, and sometimes I go up to 3,800. So I'm eating a bit more food and slowly but steadily gaining weight at that point. So for now, I don't really have to make any big changes. All right, so tomorrow is gonna be, let's see, a leg day. Yes, 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 another leg day. I'm gonna do some more high volume sets and perhaps horse cock some hamstrings. We'll see, but definitely excited as always. I'm always excited to train. So I'll catch you then. And for now, I'm just gonna chill out and enjoy the rest of my day. I hope you do the same.